Hello, and welcome to Panther Sports Zone. I'm Drew Brewer.
And I'm Josh Crawford.
The Prairie View A&M bowling team competes in the SWAC Bowling Championship starting this Friday, March 25th, as they compete for yet another postseason title in the NCAA tournament bid. Worthington Moore has more on the story. Worthington?
Thanks, Drew. This weekend, the Lady Panthers look to add to its winning culture and attempt to do what only one other team in the SWAC has achieved: win back-to-back-to-back SWAC tournament championships.
For the fourth season in a row, the Lady Panthers bowling team claimed the SWAC regular season title with a 24-4 record in conference this year. 3 players from Prairie View took home first and second team selections, as Coach of the Year honors once again went to head coach Glenn White. When asked about his level of confidence in his team right now, Coach White mentioned how his players have been able to handle any and all aspects of the game.
I think the team has done a really good job in managing not only the physical but the mental part of the game, and continuing to work on that winning culture. So I feel good at this point going into SWAC that we're still building and we're still getting better.
That's exactly what senior Crystal Klein did on day 2 and 3 of competition in the SWAC East Roundup. After starting out in 8th place, she climbed up the ranks to take home SWAC Bowler of the Year. What's her secret?
Freshman year, you come in, you're so nervous, and then senior year, you become the veteran and you slowly become more relaxed, but at the same time, there are still those nerves because you have to prove to yourself that you can do it first, and then always help your teammates because it is a team sport.
And with the SWAC tournament just 2 days away, there's only one thing in mind for these Lady Panthers.
I really want that 4th ring. I want to say 4 years, 4 rings.
Reporting for Panther Sports Zone, I'm Worthington Moore.
Thank you, Worthington. The Prairie View A&M men's golf team took on UC San Diego Invitational in field of 14 teams in a 2-day tournament held Monday and Tuesday, March 21st and 22nd. The Panthers finished 13th overall, posting a total team score of 906 in a 2-day, 3-round event. Junior Rodarius Rondo Walters led the Panthers with an overall score of 224, finishing 8 over par, tied with 47th place. Fellow Panther Christian Latham wasn't too far behind as he placed 3 strokes back of Walters at 11 over par. One positive note for the Panthers is that they improved by 24 strokes from day 1 to day 2, 9 more than the next closest team. Up next for the men's golf team is the LA Tour Intercollegiate in Matthews, Louisiana on Monday, March 28th and Tuesday, March 29th.
Another addition to the defending SWAC Western Division champions, the Panthers add Coach Hurley Brown to his roster, the 4th new addition at the coaching position since Bubba McDowell was named head coach for Prairie View's football team. Once again, congrats on the signing and welcome to the Hill. Today and tomorrow, the men's and women's club basketball teams are hosting March Madness, a tournament held between teams of 7 players. Although it's too late for new teams to enter, you can be sure to spectate the event as it takes place in the rec center from now until 10 and from 5 to 10 p.m. tomorrow. Games are free to spectate, so be sure to come out and witness one of the biggest intramural tournaments of the year.
Now moving on to PV track, the 88th edition of the PV Relays begins this Friday, March 25th. So, Josh, how do you expect the men and women's team for the track team to do this season?
Well, obviously coming off a indoor SWAC championship, we got, shout out to our producer Worthington, more guys like that in the fold. You got young women like Jada Sabir in the sprints. So, we both know better than anybody about how momentum and chemistry even carries us through this, project. So they have a lot of momentum, they have a lot of chemistry, they have a lot of people on their team that have been there multiple years, and they got people that know how to win. And that's especially important in an event, in a sport like track, to where yes, you are competing individually, but the ultimate goal is a championship, which is a team thing. So they've got one for the indoor. I don't see any reason why they can't get one for the outdoor.
Right. I just finished talking with the coaches, both Coach Williams and Coach Clay with Panther Coaches Corner, and it was just one of those things that you know, they're really excited about the team they have, you know, just coming in. They're really ready to go in this weekend to just continue to compete no matter what, not to give up. You know, they were talking about, I asked them, how do they feel taking over that #1 spot, you know, with Alabama State being normally the #1 for being that dominant in our PV. And they were just saying, you know, they don't look at the time of where they are now. They're looking to continue to be forward. It's something that I remember when I used to play football, we used to say it's one game at a time. So even after you win a game, you're still 1-0 the next day. So it's just a matter of keep going on to continue to make sure that they do a good job. You know, I have faith in the SWAC with our track team. You know, we did a lot to come through, so that's a good job just to go for it for the team. So coming up next, we'll talk more about some upcoming esports tournaments taking place on campus, as well as go into some of the details for the upcoming SWAC bowling tournament. Don't go anywhere after the break.
Welcome back to Panther Sports Zone. The Southwestern Athletic Conference has tabbed Southern's Alana Mark and Bethune-Cookman's Hannah Ortega for SWAC Softball Weekly Honors for their outstanding performances during this past week of conference play. Mark completed the weekend with 3 home runs and 10 plate appearances, scoring a total of 4 runs in a series sweep of Grambling State. Mark has a .290 batting average and a .452 slugging percentage with a fielding percentage of .973. She set a season high in marking hits, doubles, home runs, RBIs, and assists in the Grambling State Series. The SWAC pitcher of the week, Ortega pitched 12 innings with 1 unearned run as BCU swept Alabama State in a doubleheader. She struck out 16 with an opponent batting average of .220 for BCU's first SWAC series.
This past Monday, SWAC Esports announced that Prairie View A&M will be hosting their Madden 2022 and NBA 2K official campus grand championship online tournament, with the winner securing an all-expense-paid trip to the SWAC Esports Championship and a shot at the $1,500 grand prize. Both tournaments begin next week, as the Madden tournament will be played on Monday, March 28th at 7 p.m., and the NBA 2K tournament played the next day, Tuesday, March 29th, also at 7 p.m. Central Time. For those that are interested, you can go to the PV Panther Esports, SWAC.org, or can go to the Twitter or Instagram and type in SWAC Esports for more information.
Yes, I need to talk to my producer. We don't, you know, we do a good job. We don't usually read through the script all the way, but yeah, Worthington, give me that link. I can win $1,500. The SWAC is slated to host the 2022 SWAC Women's Bowling Tournament on March 25th through the 27th at the International Bowling Training and Research Center located in Arlington, Texas. The 3-day event features the league's top 6 teams at the conclusion of the regular season play. Participating teams for the tournament include our own Prairie View A&M, Alabama State, Southern, Texas Southern, Jackson State, and Florida A&M. The following format will be used during the event. On Friday, 5-person regular team games will be played in the qualifying rounds. Total pinfall from these matches will determine the seeding for the remainder of the double elimination tournament. On Saturday and Sunday, the 6-team double elimination tournament will begin. Baker format, in which a team must win best 4 out of 7, will be utilized. Teams will be reseeded 1 through 6 based on their total pinfall in the qualifying round. The top 2 seeds will receive a bye in the winner's bracket. Fans and spectators will be allowed at the event, and admission will be free to the general public. The tournament will also be available to watch on ESPNU and BowlTV.com. That's a lie. That was a lie. Shout out Worthington, because I wouldn't have known none of that stuff. Coming up next, we have second team All-SWAC Diana Rosenthal. Stay tuned for the interview. She's a hooper, y'all. I'll come back after the break.
welcome back to Panther Sports Zone. Joining us today, we have junior guard for the Panthers basketball team, Diana Rosenthal. Diana, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good.
That's great.
That's good. You know, she's a hooper, Drew. You know, I've seen her out there, you know, working the game, stuff like that. We talked a little bit before we came on and started recording. You say you've been here 3 years, so I'm saying I've seen her. She got the goggles, G. She got the goggles. That's what I've known her for, because I've seen her actually around campus. But I was like, who is this girl on the court with these goggles looking like Amari Stoudemire hooping? So no, she's a PTP, as Dick Vitale say, a primetime player. So I'm really excited about this.
Right. So, who would you say is your biggest inspiration when it comes to basketball, or just in general?
My dad would probably be my inspiration. He's been taking care of me and my brother since 8th and 6th grade, so like everything I do is for him.
Right. You know, as somebody, I'm from Memphis. You know, I didn't tell you that, but you know, that's basketball-dominated city. So when I just got a critical eye towards basketball players. So when I see the way that you hoop, you know, your ability to score the basketball, the way that you shoot for your hand off the bounce, for me, I think it's C.J. McCollum as the first person that comes to mind. But obviously, you're the player. Who did you draw inspiration from, and who do you model your game after?
I think, personally, I'm like a Kawhi Leonard. I like it. Or Paul George, somewhere around those lines.
I feel that. Yeah. Defense. You are pretty scrappy too, honestly. So now you said you want to rock with the C.J. McCollum. That one gonna get it. I feel that. Yeah, she's the baller, not me, y'all. What you got, Drew?
So, with that being said, who right now in the NBA, WNBA is your favorite player?
If I had to say right now, I forgot his name, but he plays on the Clippers, and he did really good last year in the playoffs.
Reggie Jackson?
I think so. He had a really good motor going into like the first or second game. He's the reason why they won the game. So he was strictly like defense. So like I really like that.
Nah, Reggie Jackson is a dog. Play behind, you know, Russell Westbrook for a long time, Oklahoma City. Really good guy, really good scorer. You know, some people, you know how it is in sports, any type of organization, some people are just too good for the role that they're in. So I think that was the case of Reggie Jackson for a long time. This is be interesting. We talked, like you said, you literally just told it right before we started recording kind of what your answer was. So I'm really interested. You know, everybody has, you know, who they consider the GOAT, greatest of all time basketball player. I'm going to say LeBron. I think LeBron is. I know Drew is an LA guy. I'm thinking Kobe. Is Kobe for you, for sure? Give me your greatest basketball player of all time.
I'm with Kobe.
Kobe?
I love the Mamba mentality. I'm all for it.
Okay, so do you try to, you know, I know you said Kawhi and Paul George, but is that like another guy that you try to, you know, model your game after?
Yeah, just taking on the role of, you know, being that guy, trying to score the ball, do whatever I can to make sure my team is successful.
I got you.
So, you know, going into your last year with this with the team, you know, how do you see you guys improving? Is there anything that you guys need to improve, or is there any expectations that you have coming into this last season?
I'm really big on taking it one step at a time. So, you know, our season really starts like Monday. It started Monday, you know, with weights, working out, getting the new recruits here, putting everything together. It starts now for us to be very successful. So, you know, just keep the team chemistry.
And how are you feeling about those new recruits coming in?
We are supposed to have some trickling in, so I haven't really like met them yet, but I am confident from what the coaches are saying that we're going to have some really good talent coming in.
That's good.
Talk about the new recruits, great question, Drew. You yourself, everybody obviously was a new recruit at one point, but now, like you said, you've been here 3 years. So you're a junior?
I am.
So, you know, like you said, you've been here 3 years. You've been a key part of the team for, I would say, all 3 of your years here. As somebody that had to do it here as a football player, how has your transition been from new recruit, you know, guy fresh off the boat versus now, you know, a veteran presence in the locker room, somebody that the younger women look up to for, you know, guidance, stuff like that?
I think leadership is really the biggest part. Me coming into my freshman year, I had people like Kieja Williams, Dominique Newman, who was really paving the way for me, letting me know, and also giving me competition in practice, letting me know, like, you know, stay in a freshman place. Like, you know, you got your job and I got my job. You know? So.
Thanks, standing for that's tough, but Dominique, that was the one that was left-handed, right?
Yeah, she was number 12. She was cold.
Yeah, she was a real big Mike Conley vibe. She's a really big competitor, so I'm not surprised that she took that attitude with you, honestly. Would you say, Drew?
Yeah. So just going in, like, you know, like he said, new recruits and everything. What got you to come to PV? Like, what enticed you to come?
like I said, everything I do is for my dad. We actually came on the visit together. That's really what like drew me in, because some of my other visits, it was just me. But Coach Pugh actually brought me and my dad, and she knows that he plays a really big part in my life. So he loved it here, I loved it here, and it just kind of felt right. So.
So you told me off camera that you're from Florida. Obviously, this is not close to Florida. You know, it'll be hard to see by the way you hoop now, but you told me, you know, that you really kind of a late bloomer, didn't really get to where you are athletically now till your junior year. But honestly, you know, that's not a uncommon occurrence. You got people, you know, I think like college sexton, people that kind of rise up really late in the high school. So it's not uncommon for you to be a breakout junior or be a breakout rising senior. So tell me, you know, why did you not think that you got heavily recruited and that you broke out, you know, around your 11th grade year? And what made you come all the way from Florida to Texas, Houston?
Well, I think it was best to get away from Florida, get away from my environment, you know, see something different. Outside of Florida, I don't think I've ever really been like out of state except for like Tennessee, and that's where I was born.
You was born in Tennessee?
Yeah.
Where in Tennessee you was born in?
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga, Chat-Town. Shout out to the Mocs. Got them an NCAA tournament bid. I like you even more now. Continue what you were saying, girl.
But I love Houston. It's a lot to do. The people on campus are really nice. They're really supportive. So like.
And they're not crazy like where they you from. That's the better part. I know.
So how do you recall your first meeting with Coach Pugh? Like, how was that just to get to know her?
She was recruiting me since, I want to say my junior year of high school, maybe a little earlier, I don't remember. But the conversations with her, you know, she told me straightforward, I need some dogs on my team. I need some defensive dogs on my team. And in high school, I was a defensive dog. I wasn't like the scorer that I am now. That kind of came with like working out and stuff. But, you know, I knew I could be that defensive dog for her team, so.
So you talked about developing that defensive mentality. That's admirable and very important because you know better than anybody else. Many more people in the game of basketball, even the guys that play at a high level, guys and gals, are more focused on the offensive side of the ball. So for you to take pride in that, because like I said, I see you play because actually recalling it, yeah, your freshman year with Dominique, other girls, that you were more of a it's like Tony Allen, Margaret Smart, defensive stopper presence. So, you know, it's been cool to see your evolution to somebody that came in and, like you said, had one role. That was your role. So now, I don't think there's nothing that Coach Pugh wouldn't like you to do. So, tell me, Diana, like you said, you popped out your junior year. You know, Coach Pugh started recruiting you your junior year. So, you talked to me a little off camera. You said that you hopeful about, you know, playing professionally at some level. When did you start to see in your life that basketball was something that you could take serious that could potentially provide a living for you?
As an athlete, you sometimes have doubts of, is this sport really for me? I feel like if you don't have moments like that, then the sport is probably not for you. You should have moments of doubt. But I think this year, actually, I felt like I can play overseas. I feel like this year, I took on a leadership role, a scoring role. I just did what I needed to do. And hopefully I can develop my skill next year so we can go all the way to the tournament.
Facts. Love to see it.
So, you know, you say from Florida and everything. Growing up, did you participate in any AAU or any club basketball or anything like that?
I did. I mainly was local, but we couldn't afford AAU. So, like my junior year, that's the last year you could play, my coach from high school helped me out a lot to get me out on the circuit. But generally, no, I would go outside, on the outside courts and play with, you know, the guys from the hood.
Yep.
So.
Hey, that's how it be sometimes. Sometimes the hood basketball court is the best teacher you can ever have. Like, I'm telling you, that's a different breed right there. She learned on the streets, boy. Oh my boy.
You good.
Yeah.
I feel you.
You got anything else you want to say, Josh?
No, just thank you for coming. Like I said, you are a real hooper. I appreciate your time. I appreciate what you're doing for PV on the women's side because it ain't always been good. You know that. So you're really a big inspiration. Honestly, you're kind of the heart and soul of the team. You're very articulate. That's probably why Worthing brought you in. And I'm just sending you, you know, good vibes, good energy. You know, anything that you do for basketball or not, you seem like you're a very smart young woman, very positive. And I'm sure that you'll do something positive, whether or not it's putting the basketball in your hand or not. So I'm just rooting for you. We support black women on this program.
Yeah, just one of those things I wanted. The last question I had was just a matter of see how Josh said that, like, you coming out here taking that leadership role and just being the new leader of the team. How do you feel about just leading your team into this next season? Like, what do you feel the team needs to improve, like individually, but as well as just a team as a whole?
As far as leadership, this year and next year, this year I took on, like I said, a big leadership role. I never really had that leadership role the whole time. In fact, last year I wasn't too good at it.
Right.
So it was a learning year. This one's really good. So my senior year, hopefully I am the best leader I can be. As far as improving the team, just keep working hard and continue to get in the gym when nobody's watching.
Thanks. Like I said, I can't say it. I can't reinforce enough. We support black women. We support people in our community doing positive things. We support articulation and communication. And this sister right here has it all in abundance. So yeah, you should be doing. Yeah, Diana Taurasi, watch out. Brittany Browner, try to get out of jail before you mess with my girl Diana.
Thank you.
Well, that will be all for today's episode of Panther Sports Zone. Make sure to tune in with us after spring break, Monday 21st, for more Panther sports news, information, and SWAC news at 5:30. Once again, I'm Drew Brewer.
And I'm Josh Crawford.
And we're signing out.